guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, it's time for another 12 weeks of fall and Halloween. This is week number 8. Boy, this is going fast. And this time I'm going to do another fall fun fold card. This one's called the Triangle Gatefold card. And I'm using the products that are coming with my Pretty Pumpkin online class that ends next week, September 29th. So if you want to get a hold of this class, click on that online class link below, and you'll get all the information there. And if you're watching this after September 29th, 2021, then you can still click on that and find out what my current online class is. But I want to make one little project. This is not in the online class. You'll be getting 4 different cards, 2 fun fold cards and 2 regular cards with the class. I wanted to show you the different things that you can do with the stuff that you'll get with this online class. Okay, now if you want to stamp along with me, just click on that blog post link below in the video description, and you'll find the supply list and all the dimensions that you need to make this card. Okay, let's get started. First, I want to show you the bundle. This is the Pretty Pumpkins bundle. There's the stamp set, and here are the dies. The dies are called Detail Pumpkins dies, and if you buy these together as a bundle, you'll save 10% versus buying them separately. And I'll angle this a little bit so you can, there's a little glare. There you go. Now you can see everything. Now there are dies to die cut all of the images, but there are also a couple more pumpkins, and there are a couple leaves that stand alone too that don't need stamps. So it's a really nice bundle. So let's go ahead and get the dies out that we need. We're going to be using this one and this one. I want to use those pretty ones, the standalone pumpkins. We're also, with the stamps, we're going to use the Gather Together, and we're going to use this one right here, and then the Friends for Pumpkins, I'd Pick You. And then we're also going to be using the stitched rectangle dies. These are in the annual catalog, and from this grouping here, I'm going to take this number 2 one. So I always start with the smallest one is number 1, so this is the number 2. And I believe those are all the dies that we need. Okay, I thought we'd start off with some stamping. I want you to grab that small piece of basic white. This is a 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. And we're going to grab the Gather Together stamp with the cinnamon cider ink pad. And we're going to stamp that close to the center. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be die cutting it. Hold that down for a few seconds. Okay. Put that over to the side. Let's go ahead and grab that last piece of basic white. This one is a 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And we're going to grab this little stamp here and make a little border. I'm going to do the cinnamon cider again. And I'm going to angle this so these leaves are along the bottom and that flower is kind of up a little bit. Okay. We'll turn this around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we could just keep it like this. I did something. I'm going to grab my blender pen. I thought these look like little flowers on the ends. I thought we needed to add a little bit of color to that. And the neat thing about our ink pads, they're water-based. So if you use the blender pen, you can actually color. I'm just kind of brushing. I'm not going to scribble it. And I'm kind of picking a little bit up off the center too to get a little more color. So you see how it kind of makes the flower stand out just a little bit. And you, like I said, you don't want to scrub. I actually did that the first time, and it took away too many of the lines in the stamped image, and I didn't want that. I just want a faint brown. And then if you want a little darker, you can pick up a little ink. Like I might make, actually this is looking pretty good, but I'll just show you what I did on my original. We can open this up, just take a little bit and kind of wipe some of it off. And just darken up that middle just a little bit. There we go. And we still have that lighter version from just making the ink bleed that we stamped. Okay, so that gives a little dimension to the flowers. And then we're going to grab, I'm going to get my lid out of the way, the one that says, if friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. And we're going to do the rich raspberry ink pad this time. And we're going to stamp this up closer to the top so we can have room to put our name in. Hopefully I'm getting this straight. I'm at an angle. Oh, not too bad. So we've got that ready to go. So put that over to the side. And that is actually all the stamping you're going to need to do. So go ahead and close up all your ink pads. I'm going to hurry up and put my lid on my blender pen so that doesn't dry out on me. And we'll go ahead and get the die cutting machine out. Okay, to get your die cutting machine ready, you need platform number 1, the die plate number 2, and one of the standard cutting plates, number 3. Let's go ahead and grab that Gather Together and grab that rectangle die that we got out earlier. Now I have found when you do these rectangles or anything that's long, it's better to put like a corner, a small area to go in first. It doesn't crunch as much, and I think it cuts a lot better that way too. I'm going to slowly bring this down so I don't move my rectangle. I'm going to run this through. And now we have our Gather Together. I'm going to put that right up here for now. And let's go ahead and let's get this back over again. We're going to grab some rose gold and gold and rose gold metallic paper. The rose gold one is 2 1/4 by 2, and the gold one is 2 by 3 1/2. So we'll go ahead and put those in. I think we're going to do them like this. Now this comes with the class also. You'll get a full pack of this paper in the class. And let's I'm going to move my plate out so I can see what I was doing. We're going to grab this die here. This is going to go in the middle of the gold. And then we'll grab the other pumpkin and put it in the middle of the rose gold one. Lay these down. I'm going to run them through twice. So I'll just run it this direction. Bring them back through again. And one thing I'm finding out with this one, everything cut when I did that, but I still had a little trouble getting some of those things out because there's all these little intricate things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab these, keep my standard cutting plates squeezed together, especially with this one. Rotate it like this, put it back down. And this tends to make it cut even better, going from a different direction. I want to make sure that die plate, there we go, had that move on me. And if it didn't have the right pressure, it wouldn't have worked. So we'll go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through. Let's just run it through once I saw one of my dies move, so we'll be okay. Even just doing it that one time, it makes a big world of difference. Let's go ahead and open this up. So we've got that one and this one. Oh yeah, that came out a lot easier, I can tell already. We'll put those right there because I'm going to use my die brush to get all those little pieces out. So we're done die cutting, and let's finish this card. Okay, I actually got a little ahead of myself. We're going to go ahead and get the die cutting, these die pieces ready first. Then I'll show you how to make the base of the card. So let's go ahead and grab these. The die brush is, you buy this separately from the Take Your Pick tool, but it fits in perfectly on this end. And you also get one of these. And we'll go ahead and use the brush to get some of those pieces out. This one we may not need to because it's just, oh, nope, those came out. I'm amazed how much easier this is coming out from when I just turning it over and going through one more time. They're coming out even easier. And then we'll do this. It does work better if you keep it in the die. If it falls out, just place it back inside it again, because this helps protect the paper so you're not tearing it up. And I'm getting some of those pieces out. Now, some of them aren't just because they're long pieces. Oh my goodness, this is coming out a lot better. I had a little trouble with it. I could tell it cut through everything, but it was a little hard to get all these little pieces here out of the negatives that I wanted to take out. So definitely do it that way. Helps a lot. I had a feeling it would. That's why I thought I'd try it with you guys in the video, and it worked perfectly. Oh yeah, these are coming out a lot easier. Took me a little longer the first time I did it. So that is my trick with the metallic paper, at least. There we go. Got one little piece there, and we got a couple pieces. Oh yeah, that was a lot easier. Let me get those last two. That's funny. Those were the two that came out easier before. There we go. Oh, one more. But isn't this gorgeous? Put it on my hand so you can see it. Isn't that? Oh, I love it. So now we've got two pumpkins. They're both different colors. We've got the rose gold and gold. And now let's go ahead and get your Simply Scored scoring tool out, and we'll get the scoring done for this card. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick on how to know how to cut this. Now, I'm going to hold this. I think this is probably the upright way. I'm looking at all these little purple ones, and most of them are going that direction. So I'm going to rotate this a quarter turn to the right. And then I'm going to line it up at the 5 1/4 inch mark and cut. So that's how if the design is going every which way and it doesn't matter, then don't worry about which way you go. But this time I want to make sure I did that right. So that's how you cut this. Okay, now we're going to do some scoring. So bring the Simply Scored scoring tool out and make sure you get this all the way up to the corner, up against these edges here. And when you use your scoring tool, you'll notice there's one that's narrow and one that's a little wider. When you're working with designer series paper, make sure you use the wider. This one's for the cardstock. If you use a smaller one, it could tear it. So we're going to score this at 2 inches. We're going to score it at 4 inches. Score it at 8 inches. And score it at 10 inches. So some really easy measurements to remember. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. And now you want to decide which side that you want to show the most. And I want this one to show the most, so have it upright. Let's go ahead and fold this, not going really hard with the creases because we want to make sure everything lines up. Okay, and then we're going to go this way. I can tell this is gapping a little bit. Just kind of move it in a little. There, that's doing better. So I'm going to grab my bone folder and make some better creases. Kind of straighten this out a little bit. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to do some marking on this to make the triangle, the angled edges. So you want to grab a ruler and a pencil. And I'm going to measure from the top up here 2 1/4 inches. So let's turn it this way. Running out of room here. There we go. I think you can still see it over here. Okay, I want to make sure that's lined up at the very top. Move this over a little bit because I want it near the edge, not all the way, because I want to make my little mark. So there's the 2 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to make that nice and dark so I can see it. Then we'll go ahead and turn this around here again to the other side and do the same thing at the 2 1/4 inch mark. Make sure that it's lined up at the very top because we want these to match up. And then here's my 2 1/4 inch mark. I'll make a line right there. Yep, that looks pretty good. So now we'll get the paper trimmer out. Okay, what we're going to do, you can find your pencil mark, and here's your score line. You want to line up that score line with the groove in the cutter, and you want your pencil mark to be lined up with the groove in the cutter. So kind of move it around till they're lined up, till that's right in the center of the groove, and so is my score line. There we go. Then we'll cut. Put this one over to the right. Then we'll turn this one around, line up that pencil mark and the score line. Make sure they're right in the center. That looks pretty good. And cut. I'm going to put this one over to the left, and you'll understand why here in just a minute. So let's get the paper trimmer out of the way. Okay, and then when we fold these together, that's how it's going to look. Isn't that cool? I really like that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take these guys, we're going to put some seal on them. What's going to happen is, this was up here, this is going to get flipped down here. So that's like an optical illusion. Looks like we made another fold, but we didn't. I got this idea from Leanne Greff. I've seen some other triangle folds similar to this one, but she added this to the bottom, and I thought that was genius. So I make sure I give her credit, because I did not come up with that. Then we're going to put those in the corner here and along side here. And I'm going to line this up so it's perfect with the edges and the corner. And then we'll do it with this side too. I'm making sure that I get adhesive all the way in those corners, because we don't want those popping up, and then one on that long side. And this one is going to get right in the corner of this one. There we go. Isn't that cool? I love that. Now go ahead and grab your cinnamon cider piece. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's a quarter sheet of cardstock. We're going to turn this over, make sure everything is going the right direction, and it does, looks like it. Turn it over, and we'll put some adhesive. Oh, let me get that going. Oh, I did get going. Here in the corners. I'm going to do these a little bit longer because I want this to stay on. Oops. I guess it doesn't matter which way it is when you're putting the glue on it. Make sure you put it on the right way when you put it on here. Okay, get that right in the center. And now we've got the card base. I almost used Rich Razzleberry on here, but that made too much purple. So we've got that on there. That's ready to go. Now I want you to grab a piece of rich raspberry that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and a piece of the gold shimmer vellum that's 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And this vellum is also part of the class, and you'll get a half pack of this in the class. So with vellum, you can, a lot of times you'll see the adhesive. We're going to be covering the middle section of this up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some adhesive right across the middle part right here. When you see me put this on there, you'll see them just a little bit. It's not too bad. You may not, oh yeah, you can't see it in the video. With this lighting, you definitely can. But all that's going to be covered up, so we don't need to worry about that. So we're going to lay this here. Let's grab our pumpkins, like so. Now, the trick with this, you can tell there's not a lot of places to put glue on this. We could have used our adhesive sheets. If you want to do that, you definitely can. But it's going to be hanging off, so I didn't want a lot of adhesive sticking up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this one over since it's got some wider areas. I'm going to put some adhesive in that center section and the 2 on either side of it. Let's see if I got enough on there. Yeah, that looks, oh, this one did not. I had a feeling. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I know I kind of want this like this. This is going to be on the card as at a diamond shape. And kind of play with them, get them laid down. I'm going to tap it just a little bit, okay? And then stick these together better once I pop it up. Then I'm going to put some more adhesive. Don't need anything here since we didn't cover that up, but we're going to need some here. So I'm going to make sure I put some wherever those wider sections are in that pumpkin, because that's going to keep this on and give some adhesive to this so it doesn't fall off. And I'm going to put this about right here, okay? And that's going to hold it just fine. See? Yep, see, it's on there really good. And then we're going to put this across the bottom a little bit, but I want to use dimensionals. Now I don't want any right here on the ends. So kind of bring it in a little bit and put 2 about right there. Get the paper backing off. And then we'll put this right across the bottom, making sure those dimensionals get on that diamond. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to line the top corner of this with the vellum. And that kind of helps me get it straight. Off just a little bit. There we go. Now it looks good, so now I'll push them down. Okay, now when we put this on the card, we want this to be able to open, so we do not want to put adhesive on this side. So what you're going to do, turn this over like this. Make sure that you put some adhesive just on this bottom. It actually looks like the bottom section, but it's the left section. Well, if I can get this going again, there we go. I'm not going all the way to that corner because I do not want that adhesive to keep my card closed. So now I've made a little triangle here with my adhesive. Hopefully you can see, oh yeah, you can see that. I'm going to stand up here again. We're going to put this right here, lining these up with the openings of the card, and try and make sure that this is kind of in the center of this little section here. Okay, that looks pretty good, so I'll push that down. Now we can open this. Isn't that neat? And I love how we can show off both sides of this paper. When I saw this fold, I thought, ooh, we got to do this. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put this on the inside. So we'll turn this over. The inside looks really pretty with just the designer series paper, but you can't write on that. They wouldn't be able to read your greeting. So that's why we're putting this in, but this is a little smaller to show off more of that designer series paper. So get that centered in that middle section in between the score lines here and the top and bottom. And I thought these little things needed something. And since this is a special card, normally I don't put bling on the inside of my card. But I'm grabbing these Brushed Metallic Adhesive-Dots. Oops, I think. Oh, no, that's got, here, we're going to put this over here because I can still use that. For some reason, it popped off. I'm going to take my die brush off and put the original attachment that was on it, the one that's got the putty. And we're going to pick up 2 small ones of these gold ones. And you can use whichever color you want. The rose gold will work too, since we're using have one of our pumpkins as rose gold. So I just thought that kind of helped those flowers out. We'll close this up. And I wanted to put 2 big gold ones, the large ones, here on each corner, just to kind of give that a finished look. I thought it needed a little more bling, even though we've got some shiny stuff with that vellum and the metallic paper for the pumpkins. I just thought that finished it off quite nicely. I almost forgot something. You need to grab that fine art ribbon. This is a 4-inch piece. You can find this in the annual catalog, and this is also part of the class, and you get a half a roll of this. We're going to tie this just in a single knot. Have the knot close to the center. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be trimming it a little bit. Just keep playing with it till it looks good to you. I'm twisting some things around here. There we go. Oh, that looks good. Now grab your glue dots. Find my first one here. There we go. And we're going to put our ribbon right on there. Put that knot right on that glue dot and squeeze really hard. Then pop it up. And we're going to put that right here in this top left corner of the gather together rectangle. You're going to grab your scissors and we'll cut these at an angle. And if you want to fray the ends, you can a little bit. I think I'm just going to leave them the way they are. Let me grab my original card. And this one I frayed them just a little bit, so that kind of gives you the different looks. So there's the card all done. This is the one we just got done making, and that was the one that I frayed the ends just a little bit. So just changes the look up just a little bit. But I thought it needed that little piece of ribbon on that rectangle. It looked kind of plain. Well, I hope you enjoyed making today's card as much as I did. It's so much fun, and I love that it shows off both sides of the designer series paper. And if you like this elegant look with pumpkins, make sure you check out my Pretty Pumpkins class. Just click on the online class link below and in the video description, and you'll find out everything about it. It does end September 29th, 2021. So if you're watching this after that, you can still click on that and find out what my current online class is. So the next 12 weeks of fall and Halloween will be next Friday between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern time is when the video will pop up. And I also do videos throughout the week. And if you don't want to miss any of those, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. And then click on that little bell icon and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I do a video. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And I'd love to send out your first set of catalogs for free. You will definitely be getting the annual catalog and the mini catalog. Those are available for a few more months. Especially this one will be through the end of December. This one we still have till the end of April, so that one's going to last a while. And Celebration. If you want this one, let me know. But after September 30th, I won't be mailing this one out because it ends then. So it's almost over. And yesterday I did a video using the counting sheep and the sheep dies that are in this that you can get free with an order. Make sure you check that out. I'll put a link to it up at the top corner and down in the video description. It's a really cute birthday card. I think you'll like it. So let's bring this back out so you can see the card one more time. I really do thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. And please support my channel by giving me a thumbs up or commenting below. I really do appreciate it. See you later, guys. Have a great day. Bye.